Okay, got another old outboard for you. This one I think is a 1960 18 horsepower Elgin. Or Elgin, I don't know. I say Elgin. I don't know. I'm going with Elgin. Yeah, I got this guy for 40 bucks. The carburetor was in a bag, but I think it's all there, minus a few O-rings. So I already put that together. I have compression tested it. And yeah, it had no spark. It looked like the guy who had it previously tried to rig up a kill switch or something like that. I don't know. We're gonna pop off the flywheel today and see if we can get this thing to spark and maybe spray some gas down the cylinder and get it to run for a couple seconds. And if we do that, then we'll get to the lower unit and do all this other stuff to make sure it can be water worthy. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so first let's take a look at it under the hood. This is pretty neat. The way it opens up. It's got like a dashboard on the front. I put it in gear. It goes in and out of gear. There's the choke. It's not connected to the car right now. But this is how you take off the hood, and it's pretty funky, if you ask me. But yeah, let's take a look here. It's got cams and throttle cables to adjust the throttle and the advance here. So all these pulleys, the cable hooks under here and pulls the advance or pushes the advance back and forth as it throttles up there. Yeah, I said I checked compression already. I had 110 in both cylinders, and that doesn't look factory. I don't know what's going on in there, but this wire, I don't think it belongs there. There's nothing to connect it to. I think there'd be a kill switch on our fancy dashboard. Oh, here's something else that's cool. It's like access to the carburetor under this little hatch. Ahead of their time, I don't know. Yeah, so we'll see if we can, if we don't need a kill switch and you can just choke it out, that'll be fine. I'll be happy with that. And I don't know if I want to sell this or keep it as a kicker for my boat. We'll see. I got a 16-foot Starcraft, and this thing idles low enough and drives slow enough. I might just keep it just for the coolness factor of it, or maybe it's a boat anchor. I could always use another anchor on my boat. Yeah, so let's take off this flywheel. If I were a gambling man, I'd say 3/4, like all the other flywheels. I cleaned up my workbench for you guys. I could feel the collective ire of everyone not so silently judging me, so and it's good for me. So now I have a puller. We got 3. Oh. There's no threads on that. Interesting. These aren't threaded, but see that? Usually those have threads in them, but I don't see any threads in there. Am I supposed to pry at it and hit it up with a hammer? That seems kind of bush league. I don't know, I'll need a second to figure this out, and then I'll set you back up. Okay, so I saw another fella try and thread these holes, but he just stripped them out with his puller, and they look really close together, so I don't think the puller I got will work for it. So I got this pry bar here. I'm going to pry up on it, start with the rubber mallet, maybe try knocking the crankshaft with the metal hammer if that doesn't work, but let's see. Okay, so I wedged this guy onto the flywheel like that. I didn't want to beat on the crankshaft too much, so I'm going to try a block of wood and get out a couple whacks, then maybe try under the flywheel. I don't know. We'll see. I didn't want to beat on the crankshaft too much, so I'm going to try a block of wood and get out a couple whacks, then maybe try under the flywheel. I don't know. We'll see. It's maple or something, so it's pretty hard. There you go. That was challenging, but we got her. I'm going to drill holes in this guy so I don't have to do that again. And we all learned something. Looks pretty clean. The key. The key remains good. So that's a win. So first I'm going to see if they even open and close. The points there. Maybe I should look at this kill switch. That actually kind of looks like it's supposed to be there. There's the points. Let's see if it wants to move. I'll set you up better than this. Okay, gotta look at one of the points there. So we'll see if these things open and close and what the gap looks like. A little burnt looking under here. A couple spiders. But otherwise, it looks pretty clean. Set them at 20 thousandths. We can do that. Okay, this one should start opening. And it does not look like it's at 20,000. So it looks about half that. The other one you can't see it, but it looks pretty. It looks pretty. That one doesn't look too bad. They look a little beat up though. Yeah, it's not even close to 20,000. So that one's at a time. That one looks pretty narrow too. And the coils look good, but that usually means nothing. But I'm curious about what is going on here. It's grounded. I bet you it's a kill wire ground. If I were to guess. It goes under. The brown wire here. You see that? This brown wire. It goes under the coil. Maybe the coil's pinching it or something. I can't even see how it's connected. Is there a screw under it? I don't know. Looks like a slotted screwdriver. Does it all sit on a plate? So should I just run a file between the points and see if that works? The little oiler's not doing too hot. And those aren't even touching the cam. Maybe they just need like lubrication. Well, it definitely needs to be adjusted, but I just want to see if it runs before I really commit a ton of time to it. That's not touching the cam. It's starting to open now. I don't think that one's touching the cam either. And it's just starting to open now. And that gap looks pretty small. Yeah, I'm gonna try and clean it. Let's see if that helps. Lots of room to open them. Let's see. I should probably keep the Woodruff key in so I don't mess up the cam, eh? Or the placement of it. They're pretty yucky. There's one. I got some paper. One here. Whitcomb. It looks like the highest part. You adjust it there. Got my handy dandy feeler gauge. 4, 6, and 10. Set at 20. So you crack the screw that it pivots on, and there's like an adjuster screw that moves them back and forth, I think. Or maybe just do it with the screwdriver. Oh, there's a little notch there to move them. Okay, here we go. We'll call that 20 right there. It looks a lot better. And when you tighten it back up, sometimes you lose your gap. So you gotta check to make sure you're close again. And that's pretty good. Okay. Let's do the one you can see. Now that I practiced on the one you couldn't. So I think that's my highest point on the cam, right there. That better? Yeah. So here's where this part here rides on the cam, and we line up that arm with the highest point on the cam, and then we make our gap. You can see there's almost no gap at all with this one. So let's let's work on that. So I got this screw here. And crack that. And this one. And you got these two notches. Can you guys see that? Yeah, I can see it. These notches here, you wedge your flat screwdriver in between, and then you can move them back and forth when you turn the screwdriver. So let's give that a whirl. Moves them in. This moves them out. I didn't clean those ones yet. Which I will do now. So I'm just using, I don't know, it's like 220 sandpaper or something. There's a school that thought where you shouldn't use sandpaper, and I agree, but in this instance, I'm treating that school more like the pirate code, more like a guideline than a rule. But the whole thing looks really clean. Looks like it's lived a good life. And it has compression and turns. It goes in and out of gear. The guy just couldn't get spark on it, so hopefully we can fix that. And it's point, so it's not going to be too hard. And I've looked it up, and the coils can be got, as well as the condensers and everything else. The carb's pretty funky on this. We'll look at that in a bit. But for tonight, we're just trying to get spark. It's a Tillotson carb, or Tillotson carb. It's interesting. The float, the float that actuates the needle, it floats horizontally, but the needle is horizontal as well. So the tang that pushes the needle in, it's kind of like at a 90-degree angle to the float. I don't know if it's to save space or make room or whatever, but I had to triple take it, and since it all came in a bag, I had to kind of figure out how to put it all together. Which I did, and then saw a diagram showing how to on the internet, so I confirmed I got it right at least. Or, I hope. Just run some paper through there. I need more lights, don't I? Now. A depressing amount of brake fluid right now. We'll have to be. This guy. Okay, now we can set these. So we got this. We're gonna move the points in and out. Yeah, the the cam is still where it needs to be. Yeah, the Woodruff key sets this cam here. It's not in it right now, but if it was all out of whack, then I'd make sure to get that back in there, but it's looking fine for now. So you open them, insert, yawn, feeler gauge, and it says set to 20. I just want a bit of drag on it, which I think we got there. After I get this going, I'll hit it with a timing light to see how good it is. That's pretty good. I don't think you gotta. Yeah, still good. Okay, cool. You don't have to like reef on them to tighten them down. We want to make sure they stay down because you don't want your points getting out of time. Let's take a look here. There. They're closed. It's going to start to open. There it is, and that gap looks much healthier than before. Coolness. Despite what I said before, I'm going to lightly put the flywheel back on just so I can pull it and see if I got spark. So, I will return. So now I'm going to put the flywheel on. First I'm just going to see if I can get any continuity with the spark plug wires. If I remember, it should be, without getting in there, one of these leads should be a connection, at least show resistance anyway. Try this one. Okay. This guy. They're the same. So this is the. Oh, I gotta mark these. That's the bottom. Bottom. That's a V. Oh, there's a little band on here. Shows the top. Okay, it says top. Okay, and then this one. Okay, it's the same as the other, so that kind of bodes well unless they're both not working. It works. But spark plug. I put some fluid film. I hope that's a good enough barrier against getting this guy stuck like last time again, but it should pop off a lot easier because I'm not even going to really tighten it down. At least be able to take it off with the rubber mallet this time. Okay, there you go. Okay, that should be. Okay, this spark plug. Oh, that came with it. I don't know if that works or not. I think this one works. It looks like this. I don't know. It's like the original plugs. You can probably see this better than I can, so Let's see. I hope it sparks. That would be neat. It's just points needed cleaning. It's often the case. I saw a spark. That's pretty dope. Now the Bendix doesn't want to jump up. Yeah, it's sparking now. That's good. So the top one, top cylinder sparks. Let's try the bottom. My hopes are high for this guy too. The Bendix I hear is a pain. There's something amiss here. Needs a bit of drag or something on it. Maybe it needs a flywheel to drag on with it. Or it needs to be done properly. Anyway. Yes, that's sparking. That is awesome. That is always a win. Okay, so I'm going to throw some premix down the holes and see if this beauty wants to fire up. That's awesome. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so they say always leave something better than you left it, so I am going to tap these holes so I don't have to mess with the flywheel like I did before. It looks like 1/4 inch threads. That's gonna match my tap to this bolt, and I'll come back with a drill, and I'm just gonna drill right through. Their holes are blind. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'll be back. Okay, so I got one hole tapped and I didn't record it, but luckily I got 2 more. I was just going to show you guys one anyway. So here comes the next one. I'm using a 1/4 inch by 20 thread pitch, which, if I remember, seems pretty standard for whenever I've taken a flywheel off an outboard. So why stop a good thing, right? So it's just, there's nothing new about threading or about tapping small holes. You just make sure you start as level as you can, and once you get a bite, you make sure you break off the chip you formed as you go further in the hole, and make sure you keep everything moving and lubricated. It cuts pretty easily. And if I don't think I got this one perfectly square when I drilled it, but it should be okay. If I had a drill press, it would be better, but such is life. You work with what you got. I think I'm getting through. You can see I'm casting a lot of shadow, but there's not much I can do about that now. So my apologies for that. I'll fix it in post. Isn't that what they do all the time now? Okay, so I'm through, and after this I should have a plethora of nice crisp threads. Yeah, can we see that? Can you see threads? Yeah, you guys can see the threads. And hopefully the bolt I intended will thread into it. And it does. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to do the next one. Then I'm going to put this back on. With impunity, because I know I'll be able to get it back off later. Okay, so I got the flywheel all tapped. It is ready to go back on. And then we can see if this guy will start. I really think it will. We got all the ingredients. We got good compression. We got a spark now. I just got to slam some gas in cylinders. The carburetor still needs all the things, but it seems complete. So I'm going to put that through the ultrasonic a second time and order a kit for it, but it looks like it's all there. But yeah, that should work out. But yeah, if this thing starts easily enough, then for 40 bucks and a couple hours of work, and I didn't even do much like research on this guy. I just kind of started from what you saw and just me checking the compression earlier. Though those throttle cable cams will be interesting. But yeah, I'm actually excited. It's not very scientific, I know, but I've never had one come off. Maybe you'll witness it. Maybe you'll be the first to see it. Yeah, I'm just spinning it like this and it's sparking. How awesome is that? So I got the 2 plugs that came with it now. It appears to move freely. So let's take a look here. It's Bendix. I don't hear good things about them. Yeah, there you go. It's a good spark too. I like it. Okay, make sure these cables are out of the way. Nothing's gonna come out and bite me if it starts for a couple seconds. I guess I can use those kill wires to kill it if I must. Just touch them together. What could go wrong, right? Okay. Okay, I'm ready to throw some gas down the cylinders. I use this stuff, True Fuel. I find it, I don't know, just because it's really expensive and it comes in a can, I find that you don't just use it for your lawnmower because you like it for these applications. Also, I use this for to put it in the spark plug holes. My kids get sick all the time, so they need this. They're all these syringes for their kid medicine. I put 2 and 2 together after we acquired about 1 million of these, so I'm going to give this engine, it looks like, about 50 cc's of True Fuel. Right in the spark plug hole. Anyway. Good for you, or good for you, and a bit more for everyone. Alright. In double quick time, I'll put these guys back in. What do you think? First pull, second pull? I think second pull. The carb's not in. They'll probably just like belch fire at me at the intake. But that's okay. That's when you hear it pop. I'm going to have these in case they must kill it. Wouldn't go wrong, right? Okay. Stay neutral. Oh. Oh man. Yeah, it's backfire at me. gonna try the old cord around the top. So I come to realize I don't think it would be a good idea to start this right now. I mentioned those throttle pulleys. So look here. So here is the advance, and I think when I was trying to start it, it was way advanced, and it was just fighting against me. I tried to pull at it with just a rope around here, and it had a massive backfire, and like no big deal. But once I get the carbs and I figure out how to thread all these guys around these cams and whatnot, the advance will be set up properly. So I think it's worth it to go forward. There's a ton of compression in this guy, and it's got really good spark now. It goes in gear, so yeah, I look forward to working on this funky thing some more. I think that's so cool. The old Elgin. Right on. Well, that's it for today. Once I get the carbs done, I will be back. Au revoir.